up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. Today, Blinks, we have been fed. Blackpink's Light Up the Sky official documentary has been released on Netflix, and I have just finished watching, and I have so much to say. Like, when it finished, I was like, oh, wait a minute, wait a whole minute, wait, I need to talk to the Blinks about this. So before you do watch this video, I'd just like to make it very clear that if you haven't watched the documentary, please go watch it first, because this might spoil it for you, since I am going to be talking about the things that happened in it. So I want to start off with the studio scene. Now, there's a lot of things in this documentary that I already knew, but there's also a lot of things in this documentary that are new revelations, which, you know, when I was watching, I was like, yeah, I knew that, but then I was like, wait a minute, no, I actually didn't. So when all four legends were in the studio, Teddy was there, and he revealed some things that we already knew, but I just want to mention because it just reinforces something that I've been saying for a very long time now. It's the fact that how particular they are with their song releases. It's how much they care and how much hard work they put towards it. And I've always said this, Blackpink's catalog is very small compared to other groups, but you know what? You can guarantee that you will fall in love with multiple songs in their catalog. Blackpink from the start has always been about quality versus quantity, and sometimes that as fans, as Blinks, it can be a bit like, we need more stuff, but at the end of the day, count how many songs that you don't like by Blackpink. There won't be that many at all. People have asked me how I've enjoyed every single Blackpink song that I've heard so far, and all I have to tell them is that, listen, they produce really good songs, and they only release it if they're 100% confident with it. They don't release songs just to release them. That's the very special thing about this group. And also their connection, all four of them. Blackpink would not be Blackpink without all four members, period. I don't care what anyone has to say, without all four, Blackpink would not be Blackpink, and I adore all four with all my heart, and that just makes the songs and that makes the music videos so much better, knowing their connection, knowing that they are just so happy together. That's what makes me happy. Another thing I've noted down is still when they were in the studio and Rosé was in the booth and Teddy was speaking about each member as they were going into the booth, and he said that Rosé, okay, she goes in for a studio session and she sometimes stays in there in the studio until 6 a.m. 6 a.m. You guys. Well, I've heard so many people say that K-pop groups do not work hard, and that has always infuriated me, especially from people that don't know anything about K-pop, and they say things like that. They're just like, oh, this is just all scripted, they're given everything, all they have to do is show up. All I have to say is you never know till you walk in my shoes. Then Kim Jisoo walks in to the studio and he says that she is very intellectually smart, like very smart, and she's very street smart. Yes, Kim Jisoo, queen. I love her so much. I love all of them so much. And it's the thing is, like, their personalities, they balance each other out, because then Lisa comes in and he obviously mentions her swag. I mean, it's undeniable. Like, Lisa's swag is beyond, okay? She is just, she invented swag, okay? She's coming out here and shining. But he also says something really amazing, which I kind of assumed about Lisa anyways. It's the fact that when it comes to crunch hours, if you don't know what crunch is, it's before an album release or before a project release, all the finishing touches, and if they're behind on anything, they have like a specific amount of time to finish it so they don't delay anything, and that's what crunch is. And he says that when Lisa enters crunch, she is a beast. She is a whole entire beast, okay? Like, there is not, like, I was trying to figure out a word to describe Lisa, and I think not even beast can go up against Lisa. She is just a machine when it comes to crunch, according to Teddy, and she just works. And also another thing about Lisa that they mentioned throughout this entire documentary, even the other members themselves, is that she is this shine of light, this positivity, this ball of light. And whenever all the members are feeling down, she is there to just bring them back up, and that's Lisa. And Jennie comes into the studio, and Teddy mentions that she is very clear about her opinions. I love that. Yes, queen, you better speak your mind. And also that she is an entire perfectionist. And I want to talk about Jennie's perfectionist levels probably after this note, because she makes a lot of revelations throughout this documentary, and I think that we already knew, and they're all perfectionists, that's the thing, all of them are perfectionists, but Jennie seems to take it a step further, which, you know what, I feel like a lot of us can relate to. Because there was a scene where they were in the theater, and they were sitting and watching their old performances, and Jennie was being very critical of herself. She missed a few steps or something like that. She was being very critical of herself, and Jisoo actually said, like, this is why we can't watch our performances, because you're too critical. Like, Jennie, you are incredible. I hope you know that. You're an entire queen. Entire queen. And even if you miss a couple of steps, no one's gonna notice because you're that much of a professional. You are a whole entire professional. Now we move on to their backstories, and I feel like we already know their backstories very well, so I don't have many notes down from this, but I do have a couple, and I love this part. It's the fact that Jennie, when she went into the auditions, she was met with Lisa, and Lisa, of course, was met with Jennie, and the thing is, Lisa didn't know how to speak Korean, but Jennie knew how to speak English. Lisa knew how to speak English, so that's how they connected really well since the start, and I loved that. This part made me die. I was crying of laughter. They were all sitting in the theater watching Lisa's performance, audition performance, and Jisoo was like, how many layers are you wearing? I died. Then we had Queen Kim Jisoo's part, and this part kind of like triggered me quite a bit, actually. I was mad, and I was writing down this note with anger, okay? So, she walked in to I think it was a beauty place? Something like that. You guys have to let me know what it was. But she walked into that place, and she mentioned that throughout her life, when she was younger, she was treated like an outcast, and that her relatives called her ugly, and also called her a monkey. You know, that made me so mad and just so emotional. Like, I was watching, and I wish I could show you my reaction to it, but I physically cannot. I was so mad. But you know what made me happy? Straight after that, I was like, wait a minute, look at her now. Look at her now. Like, I bet these people aren't saying a word to her now, because now she is on the cover of magazines. Jisoo has always been pretty her entire life. And who are you? Who are you to tell someone else that they aren't good looking? Who are you to tell someone else that they look... it just makes me so mad how humans can be so evil, especially relatives, connected family. Come on. Seriously? But look at her now. I bet you're saying the opposite now, huh? Jisoo is just undeniably gorgeous. Like, her glow she has, like, she not only has a glow on the outside, she has a glow on the inside. Like, her heart is so right. Her heart posture is just so right. And just the outside too. Everything about Kim Jisoo is beautiful. Then we move on to Rosé, and now I've noted this down because I didn't actually know that she struggles sleeping at night. And that's where she really becomes creative, and that's when she really goes on with music too, which makes sense when Teddy said that she stays up all the way to 6 a.m. sometimes in the studio working, and that really connected really well with those two. She says that singing is her relief, and that's just beautiful, and that just shows you that it's just complete natural talent from Rosé. Like, she's really connected. Like, music is her scapegoat from anything. If anything goes wrong, she turns to music, and that is beautiful. When Rosé started talking about when she left her family to go audition, that broke my heart because she started crying, and the fact that she still felt that strongly about that moment looking back shows you how hard it was for her. And man, I'm just so happy she's a part of the group. Jisoo talks about the fact that she had 3 to 4 dancing lessons a day, you guys, alongside 2 to 3 vocal teachers. And she mentioned that it was a very rough time, and that was pretty much for all members too. I mean, the endless amount of work that they went through, especially in auditions, and this is the audition scene, by the way, is insane. We already know, if you've looked into K-pop auditions, it is a very tough time, and it's so competitive, so much pressure. And Jennie came out and said, being told that you're not good enough face to face, that is probably the hardest thing. And I can agree. Like, can you imagine you working months upon months, having one break every 14 days, 1 break every 14 days, and being told face to face that you are not good enough, you're not gonna make it, you're gonna fail, you're not good as her, you're not good as him, you're not good as this, that will break you. Jennie said she doesn't regret any of those trainee moments. She actually said the only thing she thinks about is the fact that she's never experienced, you know, the typical high school and being with her family. And that's the one thing she thinks about the most. And that goes for all members. They said, we've made it this far, why quit? We're going to continue pushing on and fighting. We're not going to give up. That's going to be embarrassing if we give up after all this hard work. We're just going to keep pushing forwards, and I'm so happy they did. Of course, the producers ended up putting all 4 of them together. Can you imagine if all 4 of them were not put together? Like, where would it, like, what would we be doing right now? Like, we wouldn't be watching this documentary. That's kind of crazy. That's wild to think about. But they put all 4 of them together, and that's like the best decision. Like, whoever had that decision to put all 4 of them together, you did that. And then they released the whistle and it hit #1. Yes, it did. And the thing about this song is that Teddy was confident in the song. Many other producers were not confident in the song, but Teddy released it anyways. It hit #1. Period, Teddy. Period, Teddy. We love you, Teddy. We love you, and that's on that. I know Lisa, I think it was Lisa, she said that Teddy feels like a CEO to them, because anytime there's like a conversation or anything with Teddy, they're always like super curious and like what's going on. So yeah, I can imagine that, especially Teddy writing and producing, like they're with him a lot of the time, so it's understandable why they feel that way. Lisa's part warmed my heart so much, and it left me emotional again. She went to Thailand and she mentioned that she wanted to be a role model. She wanted to, because she's from Thailand, she wanted to go there and be like, yo, you can make it. You can do what I'm doing. Like, believe in yourselves. Like, you can do it. If I made it, you can make it. But then she kept asking herself if she could be a role model, if she would be a good role model. And I was just thinking to myself, oh my God, Lisa, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Like, you are you tick every checkbox when it comes to role model. Like, every single one of them. And that again ties in with my initial point at the beginning of how humble they are and how much they underestimate themselves. They're one of the biggest K-pop groups on this entire planet. Scrap that. They're one of the biggest groups on this entire planet, but they still undermine themselves. And that's very rare to find. That's very rare to find. A group this powerful that still have second thoughts about what they do, and still really care about everything they do. And then we had a really cute Jennie and Jisoo moment where they were in the kitchen cooking this Chinese snack, I think it was, and Jisoo tried it, and she was like, it's not bad, but it's not good, and I just died. I just died at that part. Because the amount of cute moments in this Netflix doc is just unbelievable. Like, I need to go rewatch it again and again. And then we go back to the studio, and this part also warmed up my heart. I mean, the roller coaster of emotions in this doc is insane, okay? How could you do this to me? Rosé writes from the heart, and she really writes from experiences. It's like they mentioned, like, Rosé has a diary in her head, which it just flows out when she's writing or singing. She's very shy at showing that. Rosé herself said that when she's with other people, she's less shy. She's more inclined to do more when she's other people than when she's by herself, because when she's by herself, she doesn't know if she should trust her own opinion or not. And that was a very beautiful, vulnerable moment she had there. Of course, they had their 9-month tour, their first tour, okay? Their first 9-month tour, hello. Guess what? For the first tours, their tours were filled, they were packed. Again, tying into the beginning of what Teddy was saying about Lisa being this positive, shining light. This part was another example. After the tour scene, they had a moment where Lisa was just really just being positive, a positive light, and just bringing everyone up. We're also discussing the car, and Lisa was like, am I doing too much? Am I being too positive? And like, no, we need that, Lisa. We need that. Of course, they're the first K-pop group to perform at Coachella, which is just insane. And what really struck to me is that they said that they didn't know if anyone would show up. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? But oh my God, it's Blackpink. Like, why would no one show up? But that was their first time performing at a place where it was like people didn't pay to see them. They they paid for Coachella. So that's what they were worried about. They were very sick to the stomach. I remember Jisoo saying she was feeling very sick to the stomach. All of them were extremely anxious, extremely worried about how it would turn out. They just wanted like someone to watch them perform. But guess what, you guys, guess what? It was packed. It was packed when they were performing. They absolutely loved it. Everyone loved it. As expected, they killed it. They completely killed it. Of course, they're performing at Coachella because everyone loved it so much, and I expected them to love it so much. I mean, come on, it's Blackpink. They were headlines. They were in the headlines. It was just a huge moment for them. And then they performed worldwide. My goodness, they are everywhere now. And that's the crazy part of it all, right? It's like they mentioned, they were talking about how, I know Teddy said this, how we put a label on Korean pop. We say K-pop. The only difference is it's Korean. Like why are we separating it from normal pop? Why are we putting this barrier? Why are we separating it? Like no other country has something pop. They just call it pop, and that really made a lot of sense. And at the end of their world tour, oh my god, I started crying because Rosé started crying, then Lisa started crying, then they all started crying. Okay, they all started crying. Like Rosé started speaking before they closed, but she started speaking to the other members, and it was just so beautiful. It was so beautiful, and there was like a chain reaction. We all just started crying. The fans, everyone was crying. Okay, everyone was crying. The part I have noted down here is Blackpink is truly the revolution. Point blank period. You can't tell me different. And the ending part, okay, I was crying because of the tour ending, but this ending part made me laugh so loud. So they were all in this, I don't know if it was a cafe or restaurant, but they were talking about marriage at the age of 40. They were like, hopefully I'm married by the age of 40. And Lisa was like, of course we'll be married by the age of 40. And then Lisa said, no, we'll be making a comeback at the age of 40. Yo, when I tell you I died because Lisa started doing the movement, and then she was like, oh my god, we would hurt ourselves, we would damage our backs. I know I didn't mention everything, but those were the things that really stood out to me in the first watch. Like, man, I was just writing. I have so many notes. This video so far is on 40 minutes. It hasn't been edited yet, but it's on 40 minutes. But what I will say is please go watch it. If you haven't watched it, if you made it this far and you haven't watched it, go watch it. Me describing it is nowhere near as close to of a masterpiece as it is, okay? It's just incredible. Go watch it. I'm so glad they released this. Thank you, YG. This has been incredible. Like, the amount that you've given us and the quality you've given us, thank you, YG. So all four incredible members, Jennie, Lisa, Rosé, and Jisoo, thank you for being just such lights and such stars in my life and millions of other Blink's lives. Like, thank you. The crazy thing about this is the fact that they, high chance, 100% do not know I exist. Although you guys have said that you've watched reaction videos before, there's a low chance you've seen mine. Many other reaction channels are more on top than I am. But like the fact that you don't know I exist, but you bring me so much happiness, that's incredible. Anyways, guys, I want to know your thoughts about the documentary in the comment section down below. Go watch it, go stream it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.